Hey, hello everybody, and welcome to Healing Vibrations. This is the broadcast where we aim to change the perspective of illness to see if we can really see it as a gift. So normally I have some amazing guest on that tells us about their experience of uncovering the gift in illness. But today it's just me. So I'm going to tell you about my experience of unwrapping this gift of illness. And I'm still very much in the process of unwrapping it, I have to say. And sometimes it still feels like a very unwanted gift. But most of the time, I have to say, I'm quite excited about it. So even though my symptoms are still very much there and I'm struggling with, I don't want to say struggling, it's not a good word, is it? But walking is a challenge, shall we say? Then what is that gift? What is the gift that it is teaching me, that it is showing me? But I think right from the very start, I was recognizing that actually the path that I was on was not the right one for me. And it was really the multiple sclerosis that helped me bring that to develop my self-awareness to recognize that. So for me, the gift of the MS is that it's forced me to look inwards for answers. And I believe now that inside of us, we have the answers to any problems that we currently got. And as a life coach, that is how we sort of work. So if you come to me as a client and want some help navigating your way through life, which is what we do as a life coach, getting to the places that you want to get to, we can help uncover what it is that you really, really want, help suss out where you are now, where you want to be going, but also more importantly, what is standing in your way. And then we can help you navigate your way through to find the quickest and easiest route to do that. So that's my life coaching thing. But before I started this inward journey, I wasn't being a life coach. I was working in a corporate business as a trainer and not very happy. And it wasn't just one company either. I took my unhappiness from one company to another company to another company. So it was pretty obvious that the that the that I was the common denominator. I was the common denominator. So it wasn't, though I did do a lot of moaning about my companies that I worked for, and I'm sure there was a lot to moan about, the common denominator was me and taking myself with me. And it wasn't until I started that inner inquiry, and it was the MS really that pushed me to find that. And part of that was by following George Jelinek. So if you've got multiple sclerosis and you're wanting to find another way that is not using the medications, then George Jelinek is a good place to start. His Overcoming Multiple Sclerosis tells about, is all evidence-based, talks about how you can affect your health and wellness by dietary and lifestyle changes. And since reading that book, that's sent me on a journey. I haven't overcome multiple sclerosis yet, but my mindset is in such a place where I believe it's possible. And as a very wise man once said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are right. And it's interesting what you believe. What you believe is your truth. So one of the things we do as life coaches as well is we dig down a little bit and we uncover beliefs, ones that may be helpful, but also the ones that may be not so helpful. and actually recognize that we can choose our beliefs. So if you're listening now and you've got a long-term illness, or you've got some annoying little aches and pains that you don't know what it is, or maybe you're pre-diagnosis and you know you've got something but you don't know what it is, and that's a really scary place to be. What you believe about your situation massively affects how you feel. So this is the piece around choosing your beliefs to make you feel better. And that might sound a little bit crazy, but what is the truth? What is the actual truth? So if you think of my situation with the diagnosis of multiple sclerosis, which, as far as our medical community are concerned, is incurable. It's progressive, so it's likely to get worse. And although this is definitely not true, they tell you that there's nothing that you can do about it. That is our doctor's truth. That was my truth for a little while, until I found out about beliefs. I didn't even know that it was a thing. Well, I did, but I didn't really realize how powerful your beliefs are. And if you believe something to be true, then that will be your reality. So if you believe you've got an incurable disease, then you have. But I'm choosing to believe that I can heal myself. And the work I'm trying to do at the moment is I need to let go of the timing, because it doesn't really matter how long it takes, because it's that belief is leading me on an incredible journey of meeting all the people. So we're on episode 28 as I record this, of people, that's 27 people that I've brought in together that have unwrapped the gift of illness. Well, actually, that's not quite true. The first couple of episodes I did a little bit differently. So if you want to go back and re-look at the first 2 or 3 episodes, they were done a little bit differently when we were focusing on a life area. So what do I mean by life areas? Well, I've created a little I say a little, it's quite a big self-audit. So this is a beautifully simple and powerful self-awareness tool that allows you to, or enables you to look at all areas of your life which are totally in your control, which totally in your control, which directly affects your health. So we've got 33 areas. So there's a lot of different things going on. Of course, they're all interlinked and they all relate to each other. But the people that I've taken through and the people that have gone through this audit have found it a really fascinating insight about what is going well in your world right now, and maybe the things that are not so good. So where do you need to put your focus on? So if you're told that you've got this incurable thing, that there's nothing that you can do about it, then it just sort of stops you dead in your tracks and you don't bother doing anything, or you don't look for other answers if you believe that that is the truth. But actually, if you decide, I don't want that to be my truth, I want to believe something different, I want a different truth. So you can almost make up whatever truth you want. When they talk about creating your own reality, that's effectively what you are doing. So it is worth considering, if you're in a situation in your world right now where you're not happy, whether that's your health, or whether that's your money situation, or whether that's your relationship or work or anything else, just write down, what do you believe about this to be true? Where do you put the responsibility? So are you blaming the government? Are you blaming the NHS? Are you blaming your husband? Are you blaming somebody else? Or are you taking responsibility for yourself? And this was another big thing for my healing journey, of actually recognizing, if I want a different outcome to what I've got already, there's one thing or one person that can make that happen, and that's me. And that can be like a little bit overwhelming and a little bit scary, but it's also really empowering, because we are the center of our universe. When you think about it from a vibrational point of view, and we vibrate out from us. And we can't, nobody else can see the world like you see the world. Nobody else can sit in your shoes, or stand in your shoes rather, or sit in your seat, because it's your seat and it's already taken. So this is your world that you have 100% possibility of creating whatever world you want. But it does take some inner work. It does take some self-reflection and really working out what you want. And I've been doing some work recently around even asking myself, what does optimum health look like to me? What does optimum health look like to you? If you were 100% healthy in all areas, can you even imagine what that looks like? And it's difficult to imagine something that isn't. No, there you go. It's difficult to imagine something that's not currently there. But I encourage you to start doing that, because once we can imagine what, in my case, optimum health actually looks like. And for me, it's a real connection piece to your body. So knowing, that intuitive knowing of what food is good for it and what is bad for it, what exercise is good, what is bad, and that changes different times of the month, different seasons, working with the energies that you've got inside of you that work for you, when to rest, when to play, when to work out, all of those different things. So if you're interested in finding a little bit more about either the self-audit or some of the work that I do, come along to, I can put this sticker on now. Hey, the Facebook group, Healing Vibrations Network. And there'll be a little question as you come in that asks you if you'd like a copy of the self-audit, because the self-audit will give you a real big clue about where you are now. There's a deeper piece of work that then looks at where you want to be going and what's important to you and why. But that's a little program that I'm in the process of creating. I've brought a little beta group through it. So I've had 6 people to go through the program, and it's a little short and maybe needs to go on a little bit longer. We don't do a healing journey in 4 weeks, it would appear, but we do get going in the right direction. We do make some big steps. We do feel better. So it is possible to feel better when you've got a chronic illness, when you've got horrible symptoms, just by shifting what you believe. And whether you believe you can heal yourself, or whether you believe that you've got an incurable disease, who's right? Well, you are. You're right, whatever you think is right for you. So that is the power of beliefs. So I really, really encourage you to have a look at what you're believing about your situation, whether that is health, whether that is wealth, whether that is anything. What do you believe about it? And does that belief make you feel good? And if that belief doesn't make you feel good, then maybe you could change that. What would you like to believe? What would you like to be your truth? Oh, that's a nice question, isn't it? What would you like to be your truth? And then choose that, and then decide, I'm going to believe it. What is a belief anyway? What is a belief? A belief is a thought that we keep thinking, and we think again and again. And then as we think it, we're shown evidence that it's true. So for my example, that once I started or chose to believe that I could heal myself, I started seeing more and more evidence of people who'd done that. So I've just been speaking last month in the Symptom-Free MS Summit, which talked to lots of other people who are living symptom-free after a diagnosis of MS, because they've made some alterations in their diet and lifestyle. The challenging part, once you hear about these, the good part is, yay, it's possible. I know 20, 30 people, not personally, but I've heard of, and I've heard speak, and I've listened to, and I've talked to myself. But there's no one path works for everyone. There's no one size fits all. It is an inner journey. It is working out what works best for you. And that is the gift, if you're ready and willing to unwrap it. And it's not an easy thing to do. It really isn't. But it is, I think it's really worth it. And then what choice do we have, really? What choice do I have? I can choose that I'm going to believe the doctors, and the power is taken away from me and onto just the world around me. This thing is happening to me. But actually, if it's happening for me? What happens if I needed to have MS because I was on totally the wrong path? I was miserable doing the job that I was doing. I was miserable in the place that I was. I was miserable in the relationship that I was. But I didn't have just didn't realize I could do anything to solve it. I really thought I was stuck, and that was just my life. It hadn't occurred to me that I could actually do something about it. And once you realize that big aha, oh, yeah, I don't like my life right now, then how can I choose it? How can I change it? Just do it. Just do it. Make that decision that actually I am going to make a decision that is right for me. I'm going to put myself first. And that's not always easy as well, because we're taught to put other people's needs before our own. We have to do as we're told growing up with our parents and at schools. So we're never really taught that actually our needs are important. But they are. They really are. So make that decision. Really make a decision that's right for you. And part of that is deciding what to believe. Well, the other thing that I wanted to talk about was decision making. And in life, we have decisions all the time, don't we? From what we're going to eat, to what we're going to wear, to what route we're going to go, or what we're going to do. Every day is full of decisions. And there is a thing called decision fatigue, which is why a lot of our decisions run on the subconscious. So a lot of things that we choose, we just automatically grab that coffee on the way through because it's become a habit. Because at some point we've sat and we've had a conscious choice of which drink shall we have. We've chose the coffee because the coffee tastes nice, then makes us feel a bit better, and then it becomes our go-to. Coffee is just an example. It could be anything. But then you just reach for it and you grab your coffee and you're not consciously thinking about it. So our subconscious programming makes a lot of our decisions for us, because we can't make everything in the conscious. Those who spend all day deliberating, who should have a cup of coffee or a cup of tea? And the problem is that our subconscious the programming is ran on our beliefs. And if our beliefs don't move us towards where we want to be going, our beliefs are telling us that we don't have a choice, and we have got something that we just have to put up with, then we'll just carry on as we are. We won't make any changes unless we bring those beliefs up into the conscious and consider whether we want to change our programming and move towards something that actually makes us feel better and moves us towards where we want to go. But I was going to share with you a story about CBD oil. Now, anybody who's got MS may or may not have heard about the power of CBD oil, or not just MS. I think CBD oil has a lot of benefits. I don't know much about CBD oil, can I just say? I'm nowhere near an expert, but I've heard about it on various different circuits. I've heard people talk about it. I've heard people say that it's really good for certain symptoms and all this sort of thing, but I've never actually tried it myself until recently. So I went to the Rugby Mind, Body and Spirit show at the Ben Hall a couple of weekends ago, and there was a guy there selling CBD oil. So and I ended up talking to him, and I bought this little bottle of CBD oil. Thought I'd give it a go. So that cost me 30 quid. Thank you very much. The idea is that you put it under your tongue before you have a meal, let it sit there for a little bit, and then continue on your day. Well, I did that the first day, and if anybody's ever tried CBD oil, and I don't know if it's the same for everything, because I'm sure there's lots of different CBD oils, but this one tastes really, really bad. I'll put it into my tongue. Yeah, I left it there. I then ate my dinner. It was fine. Obviously, I didn't notice anything straight away. It's not meant to happen straight away. But then the next day I did it again. Really, really bad tasting. And I just asked myself, why am I taking this? I don't even know what success would look like for this. How will I know if it's working? Is it worth the horrible taste in my mouth? So I actually read the small print of the label, and I still don't 100% know what it's meant to do, but it's meant to help with muscle mass, and it's meant to help with lots of other things. But it is a long-term thing. They reckon 60 days really before you start noticing any difference. I've only got a 30-day supply, and that's 30 quid. And then when I read the instructions properly, you're meant to put 3 drops under your tongue, let it sit under your tongue for 3 minutes, half an hour before you eat a meal. Now, I don't know. I'd be really interested to know what other people's experience with CBD oil is, but I was just, no, that is, maybe if I took the CBD oil and all of a sudden my legs felt lighter and I was able to run around the block, then it would be worth the really bad taste in your mouth for half an hour a day, previewing every meal. So that would literally ruin most of my meal times. And I just questioned myself why I didn't go through that sort of deliberation with myself prior to buying. Well, of course we don't prior to buying, because we've got a salesman there who's telling us what a great thing it is and why we need to have it in our lives. So now I'm not taking the CBD oil. I've decided that's not going to be my path. I don't want to be taking CBD oil forever and a day. And it's just another thing to take. And also, not only did it taste awful, but I wasn't very good at remembering to do it. So I did it 3 days on the trot. Then I missed a day. Then I read up about it and decided just to give it a miss. So what I would recommend to you, if you've got any decisions or you're looking to try something, a different modality, because there's loads of things out there, and please don't say that CBD oil is bad. A lot of people have a lot of benefits with it. And maybe if I'd stuck with it, I might have had a benefit with it as well. But it comes to a point when the sort of cure is almost worse than the disease itself. It just feels like, no, I don't want to be ruining my meals. I'd prefer to really embrace my food and enjoy it and bless it. So when I'm eating, it becomes a real nourishing, nurturing experience. Because quite often as well, when we're on this healing journey And we hear that, diet can really help. And if anybody's seen any of the posts and things that I've done on diet, it's great to know that actually diet is such it's something that we have total responsibility for. So we can change our diet quite easily. Sometimes it doesn't feel easy, but we can. We can decide what to put into our mouth and what not to put into our mouth. That is something that is totally within our control. Yet once you go looking out there of what diets can help a disease like multiple sclerosis, there are loads. When I did my research, I came up with 10 different diets. And I know there's more than that because Alison Brown, who's a bit of an expert in nutrition, especially for MS, I think came up with 23. So there are a lot of choices. Which one do you pick? I've picked quite a few. I've tried quite a few. Hasn't really made a massive difference to my symptoms. And again, everybody is different because some people have got real sensitivity to food, in which case they find if they eat something that's not on their good list, then it really triggers and they can feel it straight away and they notice. So if you're sensitive to food, then you can change that sensitivity as well. That's possible, I understand. But because I'm not particularly sensitive to food, I haven't gone down that particular path myself. There's lots of other paths that I can try. I don't need to keep trying that out. But what I am learning to do more and more is to really love the food that I'm eating. Intend that whatever I'm eating is going to nourish me, is going to fill me with the nutrients that I need. I'm going to enjoy it. It's going to taste good. It's going to feel like I'm loving myself by this great food that I'm eating. I'm having more and more organic food because that's just that feel-good factor of when you're preparing your food and you know it's come from a good place. I would like to say I'm growing more food myself, but so far I've had 1 tomato out of my garden and there's only about 3 more, and I've got 3 pea pods, which I'm really looking forward to because I do like a raw pea. But yeah, so my growing things in my garden hasn't done very well this year. But if you're able to grow things in your garden, then that comes with a whole other sphere of goodness, because you've totally put the love into those vegetables and you've nurtured them and you've loved them and you've watered them, and now that love's coming back and nurturing and giving you the nutrients that you need. So when it comes to diet, it's about getting really present, getting really honest with yourself and noticing what foods trigger and what foods don't. So when I followed the AIP, the autoimmune protocol, which was an elimination diet, which took out all the different food groups out of your diet. And then the idea was slowly to reintroduce to see which ones triggered. And when I took everything out, I didn't actually notice a massive amount of difference. Yes, there's probably a little nuances and subtleties that I could have delved into a bit more, but it is very restrictive. And anybody who's done anything like that will know it's a tough one to keep going. But it did teach me a lot. It taught me a lot about food groups and things that sometimes we feel can be really healthy, like lentils, for example, is in the legume family. And for MS, some of the diets remove legumes out because there's a protein in the legumes. And again, I'm talking a little bit vague. There'll be more people that know more about this, but it's sort of it can trigger a response in MS in some people, as can the nightshade family, as certain elements of the nightshade family, which is your tomatoes and potatoes and peppers. Again, all of these things you would have thought are a healthy thing. So we have to go on our own journey and work out what is right for us. So if you've got an illness, then there's a couple of things that you can do right now to make you feel better. And the first one is to take full responsibility for you. And that doesn't mean to say that you have to come off any medication, but start thinking about what you can do to actually support your own healing. And if that's taking the meds as well, absolutely, that's fine. Everyone's on their own journey. And if you found something that's working for you, then absolutely you want to carry on with that. But that doesn't mean to say that you can't continue with your improving your diet, improving your exercise, improving your mindset, and choosing the beliefs that work for you and make you feel good. Because what is life about, really, if it's not about feeling good? We don't want to get caught up in this pain of badness. We want to enjoy life. We want to enjoy it in every way possible. So if you come along to my Facebook group, the Healing Vibrations Network, I am on day, as I'm recording this is day 48 of my laughter challenge. So I met a lovely lady, hi Alison Orr, who is a laughter yoga instructor. And I interviewed her for my podcast. I can't remember what episode it was, but a few episodes ago when she was talking about her experiences. And she inspired me to bring laughter into my world. And this is all about feeling better. And laughter doesn't necessarily mean that you have to laugh just because you think something's funny. It helps, of course, when you get a little tickle and you can't stop. But this is about conscious laughing, forced laughing, laughing just because it makes you feel good, laughing because the physiological actions of laughing, the muscles that you use in your face, in your neck, in your torso, and actually feels. When you start laughing, you can feel your sort of torso muscles doing this. So it's giving you a workout. So even though it is really hard sometimes just to jump on, so I'm jumping on live in the group and just laughing at myself. So it's a little bit strange. And I probably would have stopped a long while ago, but people keep either telling me, commenting on posts or telling me live in person that they're really enjoying it and it's fun and it makes them feel better. So I would encourage you to bring laughter into your life. And sometimes that means laughing at things that sometimes we'd cry at. That whole adage, if I didn't laugh, I'd cry. Well, laughing's more fun. Let's just laugh about it. Let's make everything a joke. Let's have a laugh more often. So when you notice there are times maybe you've been shouting at the kids and they've been driving you potty, kids are really great because if you've got young kids, you can just change it like this just by starting laughing. And when my kids were, they're teenagers now and they won't laugh at me anymore. They're very serious because mum was just being silly. But when they were younger, certainly my youngest one would just, yeah, let's do some laughter yoga, mum. Just start laughing at each other. Kids are great. They just laugh just because it feels good. So it's that feeling good thing that we want to bring more into. And that's what you'll get if you come to the Healing Vibrations Network. We're all about healing through hiring your vibrations. And laughter is just a perfect way of doing that. You can bring more laughter into your life just by choosing to do it. So make it a morning intention. Today I'm going to laugh more. Today I'm going to have more fun in my life. Today I'm going to laugh at things that I might not have laughed at. Or if you start laughing at something, elongate the laugh. Or come along and join me at the Healing Vibrations Network. You can tap in. I've got 48 previous recordings of me doing some crazy laughs. I've got some little laughter routines where I do some clapping and dancing and moving and just choosing to be a little bit crazy and to move my body in a way that feels good. And that's through laughter. So, well, what next? What next on the healing journey? Well, I have like I said, I've just taken 6 people through my little program called Map to Wellness. So this is using the self audit. There's 33 areas of your life that you can do. So I give away the self audit for free. You can have that as a free gift and do it yourself. However, it's an easy thing to do. Anybody can do it, but it does take a little bit of asking yourself questions. And that is sometimes easier to do with a coach, either one-to-one or as a group. So if you would like to have some help doing it and support doing it, then let me know. Get in touch via the group or just through Jean and Alison and come and have a conversation, because we can either do some one-to-one coaching or I can put you on for the next group, which is looking to start in September, which is a really nice dynamic of working with a group, because you learn from other people as they're working through their challenges, helps you work through yours. And also the similarities that you get in people working together as a group is really quite lovely. And the support that they get just from knowing that you're not alone with these challenges. So we had some people this time where we looked at environment as a piece. Now, environment is a section of your life that we totally have control over. Might not feel like it sometimes, but we do have control over. So where you live is in your control. How you live, how it's set up, where you sit in your room, how cluttered it is and uncluttered it is, how tidy and untidy, again, is all within your control. And if it feels like it's not, then you want to start digging and start working out what your beliefs are on this subject. So we do a lot of work on beliefs. We do a lot of work on what we want and focusing on where we want to be going. And we also do some work on why we want it. Because when we're making changes in our life, if you're like anything like me and mid-term, shall we say, part the way through your life, then you've had a lot of years of doing the same thing over and over and over again. So if you want to make some changes, it sometimes can feel really, really hard. You need to get that motivation. And together as a group, we can give you accountability. We can give you the motivation by digging deep and finding out why it is that you want that thing. And then reminding you of what it is that you were wanting and why. So you can move forward towards where you want to be with a set of beliefs that just really help you get there. You've got that subconscious programming working in your favor. And then you start seeing your world shift around. And I believe that by getting our world in balance, that is the crux point of actually optimal health, of actually how we feel in all areas of our life. So come and join me. Come and have a go at the self audit. It's a really interesting tool. Or come and join me in the next group program, or come and join me on some one-to-one coaching. We can get really deep on what it is that you want and where you want to be going. So that's my little update of what's been going on with me, how to feel better. And to feel better, choose your beliefs wisely. Dig deeper. Find out what it is that you're believing about your situation right now. And how to make decisions that are right for you. And this, again, is bringing the decision making up into your consciousness. And I'm still learning to do this. And I'm getting more practiced at actually recognizing what decisions are right for me and what things are worth me trying. Because if you're going to try a modality, a bit like me with the CBD, that actually I'm just going to buy it and then not actually take it, what is the point? What is the point? So it's worth thinking about all these different healing modalities, because they all have benefited some people and all have proven to help some people, but will they help you? that's for you to decide, because it's you, it's your world, it's radiating from you. You are the center of your universe, and you have control over so much more than we're led to believe. And using this self-audit tool will really help you to suss out what is easy for you to change, because there might be some what I call low-hanging fruit in there that you just think, actually, I just need to shift that up. I just need to drink an extra glass of water a day. Talking of which, So I'm going to end now. So I'm not going to babble on talking about nothing, but we always like to end with little meditation. So if you'd like to join me, I think one of the key foundation points that I'm learning with regard to my spiritual practice and self-care practice is the grounding, getting yourself grounded to the earth and connected to the earth. And if you haven't seen the it's on YouTube, it's called Earthing, then the Earthing movie, have a look at it, because it talks about how back in the day, in our cavemen days, we would have been running bare feet, we would have been sleeping on the earth, we would have been connected to the earth a lot more. Whereas now we've got rubber-soled shoes and we live in houses and we drive around in cars. So we don't have that connection to the earth. And just by going outside, and especially now when the weather's nice, you can just put your feet on the ground and take some deep breaths and allow yourself to be connected. So if it's safe to do so, and if it's comfortable for you, I invite you to sit with your feet on the ground. If you're outside, fabulous. If not, don't worry, do it inside. If your feet aren't on the ground, then just notice where your body is connected to, whether it's the seat or the bed or the chair. And close your eyes and allow your body to be supported. Take a nice, big, deep breath in. Once you breathe in, hold it for a couple of seconds. And gently and slowly release the breath. And take another big, deep breath in. When you're breathing in, allow your stomach to expand, and it feels like your whole body turns into a bit of a balloon. Then hold for a couple of seconds. When you release it gently and slowly. You can get to a point where you're breathing in, holding, and then breathing back out again. We'll do a couple of rounds of that just to allow our body to relax. And as you're breathing, tell your body to relax. Body, it's safe. Relax. And imagine you've got energetic roots coming from your feet. They're drawing down from your knees, through your ankles, down through your feet, into the earth below. Take your imagination down through all the layers, wherever you're sitting right now. Go through the layers of the foundations of your house and what's underneath the house, and take you right down to the center of the earth. What can you see in the center of the earth? How is it feeling? The earth is alive, so it's got a pulsating rhythm to it. It's constantly changing, constantly moving. It's got the energy of the earth that's now allowing into you through your feet and your legs. How does that feel? Do you feel that energy moving up your body through all the chakras in your body? And if you know about chakras, you know you've got your root chakra at the base of your spine. You've got your sacral, your lower belly, your solar plexus and your belly button. You've got your heart chakra, your throat chakra, and your third eye, which is between your forehead, between your eyes. Then going out to the top, the crown chakra at the top, out into the universe. And imagine energy like a light coming up through the earth, up through you, and like a fountain over you and back into you. So you're taking from the earth, but then you're giving back to the earth again. Just breathe through that image for a few breaths. Next time you breathe in, bring your awareness to your heart. Put your hands over your heart. Imagine that you're breathing through your heart. You can actually feel your heart pumping, knowing that it's pumping all the blood through your body. Your heart is working hard for you, even when you don't even have to think about it. Your heart is such a powerful piece. Really, I invite you to fill it up with love. Think about something in your life that you love. It might be a child or an animal. It might be a place. It might be a thing. Find something that you love and just imagine that it's there in front of you. Focus your heart energy on it and allow your body and your heart to fill with the love that you're feeling for that person, thing or place. This simple exercise gives you the power of the breath, the power of the planet, the power of your heart, all working together. I invite you to make notes of little happy, lived up places, or maybe your laugh out loud moments. There's moments that bring you joy. Sophie's dreaming. It's like she's laughing in her sleep. Allow laughter to go through your body. Allow yourself to fill with love. Just breathe that love through. And I also invite you, if you don't do it already, to do this exercise several times a day and just start to feel better. feel happier, feel more at peace. Also feels like life slows down a little bit. And you take some time for you. Fill yourself up with love. Fill yourself up with breath. And fill yourself up with the energy of the earth. Take another couple of nice big deep breaths in. Just noticing how your body is feeling. If you haven't already got a smile on your face, I invite you to smile. And I'm going to disappear now, but you can sit here in this space as long as you want to. Just enjoy the feeling of love in your body. Because if it is possible to heal, and I believe it is, I know it is, it's love that's going to heal us. If we can give ourselves love, then we don't need it from anybody else. If anybody else gives it to us as well, it's a Billy bonus. So come and join me in the Healing Vibrations Network group. Reach out to me if you'd like the self-audit and like some help going through it. Just give yourself love and bring more laughter into your life. Thank you for still here listening. Thank you for being part of this amazing world that we're in. Thank you for being part of my healing journey. And thank you for allowing me to be part of yours. Have a beautiful rest of the day. I'll see you next week. So we'll go back to I don't know who I've got next week actually. Ooh, a mystery. See you later.